So today's agenda, we want to go over consumer consent documentation, what that's going to look like, and then the eligibility application confirmation, what that will look like. Consumer consent. Now, if you're a brand new agent, this might be new to you. If you are not a brand new agent, hopefully this is not new to you. Consumer consent, with the changes in CMS guidelines, keep in mind, everyone, we're talking a couple years now. It's required to document the receipt of consent from the consumer or the consumer's authorized representative. This requirement will help resolve disputes between enrolling agents and consumers or between multiple enrolling entities. So if you are fairly new to the industry, you would be shocked. There was a point where we didn't have to document consent. This was not very long ago. So now it is a requirement to document the consent and have that proof of consent. Now, client consent for marketplace enrollments. According to the FFM guidelines, agents must secure consent from individuals, employers, or employees before searching consumer applications via the EDE websites like a Health Sherpa or healthcare.gov, assisting in marketplace applications or financial aid, enrolling in a marketplace health plan, checking and updating the consumer's coverage status. So, what that means, before you even search somewhere on the marketplace, you have to have explicit consent. Now, that can be on a recorded phone line, or that can be a paper document, whether it's a wet signature or DocuSign. Now, that's one piece of consent you need. In addition to that, you do need consent to assist them with their application. You do need consent to enroll them in the marketplace plan, and you even need consent before updating anything on their application. So, kind of a lot, but this is super important that you make sure that all of your bases are covered with each piece of consent. Okay, kind of a big slide here. As far as action for documentation goes, consumers or their authorized representatives must take action that generates the necessary consent documentation. Like mentioned, providing a wet signature or audio recorded verbal confirmation. The minimum amount of information, the documentation should include at least the following details: a description, a clear explanation of the scope, purpose, and duration of the given consent, date of consent, the specific date when the consent was given, the name of the consumer or their authorized representative, the name of the agent, agency receiving the consent. If multiple agents or brokers within the same organization are authorized, their names should be included. Information on how the consumer can revoke the consent. So if you were in the meeting yesterday, this is exactly what we talked about briefly, but now we're jumping into it a little more in depth. So the base information each of you should have when gathering consent, I'll repeat that, is a clear explanation of the purpose of what you're doing. So all those things we talked on the slide before, that needs to be included. The date, so if it's today, you would say on your recorded phone line, today, September 4th, 2025, and so forth. You need, obviously, the consumer's basic information. You need your information, and then you need to let them know how they can revoke consent. Keep in mind, agents are required to maintain consent documentation for a minimum of 10 years and made available upon request in response to monitoring, audit, and enforcement activities. So if it's a wet signature, the easiest way is probably going to be to scan that document and store it on your computer. Or if you are old-fashioned, which is okay, some of us are, put that in a filing cabinet. I recommend doing both. Scan it, have a digital copy, file it, have a paper copy record. In addition to that, if it's a phone line, make sure that these phone calls at all times are being recorded and you store that in a safe place on your computer. The minimum of 10 years. If CMS or if an insurance carrier get a complaint or an agent says this happened and you didn't have consent, that's the reason you store it. You can protect yourself from a lot of headache and trouble if you just store all of your stuff, which the rule is a minimum of 10 years. Consent form process. Before gathering all intake information from the client, you must gather consent. Advise the client that this is a requirement from CMS and is also for their protection. Like I just mentioned, a paper form. These are the different forms you can use. A paper form, an online form signed electronically with a timestamp. DocuSign does that. Phone recording. State your full name, today's date, and the last four of your social. That's one way to do it. Down here is a handful of online electronic ones. Sign Now, DocuSign, PandaDoc, Foxit Sign, Signwell, and Adobe. I've personally only used DocuSign and Adobe, but these other ones may be a good choice for you. Just know that before you start doing all of the application, all of the intake form, you need to have consent. Now here's the standard consent form. This form was actually provided to us when consent was becoming a requirement to document. This covers all the bases. So if you just want to use this and use a DocuSign or an Adobe sign and just fill in the blanks, make them fields that need to be addressed, that's great. Essentially, it's I, David Yort, give my permission to whoever the agent is to serve as the health insurance agent or broker for myself and my entire household if applicable, and so forth. It goes over searching for an existing marketplace plan, completing the application, providing ongoing account maintenance, and responding to inquiries from the marketplace regarding the application.